Did you know cholesterol isn't actually the villain it's made out to be? For years, doctors thought every bit of cholesterol in our bodies was harmful, and they had the research papers to prove it. Fast forward just a couple of decades, and we now talk about good cholesterol and bad cholesterol, like some kind of biochemical version of cops and robbers. So here's the big question: do you really need statins to bring cholesterol down, or can your body handle it naturally? Statins are powerful drugs, no doubt about it. They lower cholesterol and cut down heart attack risk, which is why millions of prescriptions are written every year in the US. But here's the catch: they don't fix the reason your cholesterol went up in the first place. It's like mopping up the kitchen floor without fixing the leaky sink. And long-term statin use? That's where the debate gets heated. Cholesterol isn't just some greasy substance clogging arteries, it's raw material your body needs. Without it, you can't make vitamin D, which keeps bones strong and immune systems sharp. You can't build the myelin coating that protects your nerves. You can't produce hormones like adrenaline, cortisol, or even your sex hormones. When cholesterol levels get pushed too low, some people notice fatigue, muscle pain, mood changes, and even vision issues. Vision might surprise you. Your eyes actually rely on cholesterol to keep the retina flexible and to help turn light into electrical signals your brain can understand. Reduce cholesterol too aggressively, and eyesight can take a hit. That's why the conversation about statins isn't as simple as cholesterol bad, statin good. There are trade-offs, and the story gets even more interesting from here. Let's talk about the eyes for a second. You know that clear lens in your eye, the one that focuses light so you can see? It's kind of like a delicate crystal. When that crystal clouds over, we call it a cataract. Now here's the kicker: the lens actually needs cholesterol to stay flexible and transparent. Without it, things stiffen up, and vision starts to fade. So when someone takes statins long-term, yes, cholesterol levels drop, but that can backfire on the very tissues that rely on it. The lens becomes more prone to clouding, and eyesight can suffer. And it's not just the eyes. Cholesterol plays a key role in keeping your liver running smoothly, especially its detox system. Think of your liver as your body's built-in Brita filter. Lower cholesterol too much, and that filter doesn't strain toxins as effectively. The digestive system can also get thrown off balance, with problems in breaking down food, absorbing nutrients, and keeping everything moving comfortably. Now, you might be thinking, wait a second, if statins have these issues, why do doctors keep prescribing them? Fair question. The goal is to lower the risk of heart attacks, strokes, clogged arteries, and even diabetes complications. And yes, statins do reduce cardiovascular risk in certain groups. But that doesn't mean cholesterol itself is the villain. In fact, some of the biggest names in medicine, Johns Hopkins, Harvard Medical School, have published studies over the past decade showing cholesterol is not the toxic enemy it was once thought to be. It's not a malignant disease. It's a building block our bodies use every day. And when it comes to food? That old advice about don't eat eggs, don't eat meat, they'll clog your arteries? Turns out, modern science doesn't back that up. Multiple studies show dietary cholesterol doesn't directly raise your blood cholesterol the way we once believed. In one trial, people with high blood sugar ate 2 eggs a day, no spike in cholesterol, no worsening blood sugar. Eggs, meat, even shrimp, these foods don't automatically translate into heart attacks. Which means the real story isn't just about cholesterol numbers on a lab sheet, it's about how our bodies handle fats, sugar, and inflammation as a whole. Here's something most people don't realize: about 80% of the cholesterol in your body doesn't come from your breakfast plate, it's made by your liver. Only about 20% comes directly from food. Think of the liver as the central warehouse. It manufactures cholesterol, stores it, and ships it out to wherever your body needs it most. Now, if you eat more cholesterol-rich foods, the liver doesn't just pile it on like junk in a garage. It actually adjusts production downward. And if you don't eat much cholesterol, the liver ramps things up. In other words, your body runs a tight balancing act. That's why modern research shows that eating eggs or steak doesn't automatically cause heart disease or send your cholesterol sky high. The body self-regulates. So why does cholesterol sometimes spike on a blood test? Because your body needs it. It's not just extra grease floating around, it's your body calling in extra construction material for repairs. If there's inflammation, cholesterol rushes in to help patch things up. If your nerves are breaking down their protective myelin coating, cholesterol is needed to rebuild it. Low vitamin D. Cholesterol is the raw ingredient to make more. Hormone levels off. Cholesterol steps in again. Even digestive enzymes need fats, and cholesterol plays a part there too. In short, higher cholesterol is often a response to a problem, not the root cause of it. It's your body trying to heal, not sabotage itself. This is where the whole idea of normal ranges gets tricky. Those lab numbers we chase, 200 mg per deciliter, 240 mg per deciliter, are averages, not personal truth. If you've got no inflammation and your body's cruising along, your cholesterol may sit comfortably in the so-called normal zone. But if your system is dealing with repair work, the numbers rise. That doesn't automatically mean a heart attack is coming. And yet, in today's medical world, elevated cholesterol is often treated as proof that you need statins. But the rise itself doesn't necessarily mean damage is happening, it usually means your body is busy at work. Here's the part everyone wants to know: if your cholesterol's up, do you have to take statins? The answer is, not always. Cholesterol can often be managed without medication, but you have to understand how your body balances it. Doctors often talk about normal cholesterol being under 6.5 millimoles per liter, that's about 250 milligrams per deciliter for us in the US. When it's higher, it doesn't always mean your arteries are clogging, sometimes it just means your body is in repair mode. Instead of rushing to meds, you can often support that balance with food. And yes, research backs this up. Let's start with fiber. You've probably heard about heart-healthy oatmeal, right? That's not just marketing. The real magic comes from beta-glucans. Special fibers in oats and barley that act like sponges in your gut. They grab onto excess fats and cholesterol, preventing them from being recycled back into the bloodstream. Over time, that translates into lower cholesterol numbers. Clinical trials show a modest but real effect, around a 5 to 6% drop. Doesn't sound huge, but remember, it's food doing the heavy lifting, not a prescription bottle. Another everyday hero? Walnuts. And no, not the glazed, sugar-coated kind you find in airport kiosks, I'm talking plain, raw, or lightly roasted. Meta-analyses of over 60 studies show that eating just a handful, about 15 to 30 grams a day, or a small palmful, can lower cholesterol by 5 to 10%. Why? Walnuts are packed with plant sterols, which basically muscle out cholesterol in your intestines. It's like they cut the line, leaving cholesterol behind so it can't get absorbed. So instead of reaching for a statin right away, you could start your morning with a bowl of oatmeal topped with walnuts and blueberries. Simple, filling, and quietly working on your cholesterol without you even noticing. Alright, we've covered fiber and walnuts, now let's add a couple more powerful foods to the lineup. First up, fatty fish. You've heard of salmon, mackerel, sardines, maybe even cod. What makes them special? Omega-3 fatty acids. These little guys are like peacekeepers in your body. They calm down inflammation, which means your liver doesn't have to crank out as much cholesterol for repair work. Studies show omega-3s can lower overall cholesterol by around 5 to 10%, and triglycerides, the fats that really spike with sugary diets, by a solid 20 to 25%. And the prescription here isn't complicated: 150 grams, about a 5-ounce fillet, twice a week. Stick with that for at least 4 months, and you'll start to see the benefits. Grill it, bake it, toss it on a salad. Just maybe skip the deep fryer, unless you're aiming for omega-3 meats French fry oil. Now, let's talk garlic. Not just for warding off vampires or spicing up pasta, it's actually a cholesterol fighter. The secret weapon inside garlic is a compound called allicin. That's what gives garlic its strong smell when you crush or chop it, and it's also what helps lower cholesterol levels in the liver. Clinical studies back this up. Regular garlic intake can modestly reduce cholesterol while giving your immune system a nice little boost. So yes, sometimes the best medicine really does come from your spice rack and seafood counter. So how much garlic are we talking about here? Studies suggest up to 6 grams a day, which works out to about 2 to 3 fresh cloves. Taken daily for a couple of months, that can trim cholesterol levels by around 10 to 15%. Not bad for something that costs a couple of bucks at the grocery store. Of course, garlic comes with a catch. If you've got a sensitive stomach, or conditions like chronic pancreatitis, raw garlic can cause bloating and discomfort. In that case, lightly cooking it can take the edge off. And if even cooked garlic gives you trouble? No shame in skipping it. Food should help you, not hurt you. Now, let's move from the spice rack to the fruit bowl. Enter the humble apple. Everyone's heard, an apple a day keeps the doctor away, but here's why that line has stuck around. Apples are loaded with pectin, a type of soluble fiber that binds cholesterol in your gut and helps escort it right out of the body. Think of it like a cholesterol sponge working behind the scenes. Clinical trials show that pectin can lower cholesterol by about the same margin as garlic, 10 to 15%. All it takes is about 200 to 300 grams of apples daily, which is basically 1 to 2 medium apples. And here's the important detail: don't peel them. Most of that pectin and other nutrients live in the skin. Not everyone does great with raw apples either, they can cause bloating for some folks. If that's you, baked apples are a gentler option. Warm, soft, maybe with a sprinkle of cinnamon, it feels like dessert, but your cholesterol will thank you. If raw apples aren't your thing, don't worry, you've got options. Baked apples with a little cinnamon and a drizzle of honey? That's basically dessert disguised as medicine. Sweet, warm, comforting. And still giving you that cholesterol-fighting pectin. And apples aren't alone here. Plums, especially when used in traditional dishes or made into kvass, a kind of fermented drink, not soy-based, have also shown cholesterol-lowering power. Modern meta-analyses suggest they can trim cholesterol by about 10 to 15%. The trick, though, is preparation. Plums should be soaked for at least 2 hours before cooking to cut down on bloating. And moderation matters. About 100 to 130 grams a day, roughly a small bowl, is plenty. I'll share a little story here. Growing up, I remember visiting families where food wasn't just about filling the belly, it was about healing the body. There was a dish made with grains, garlic sprinkled on top, and always served before the main meal. That kind of food culture had a quiet wisdom baked into it. Meals were designed to keep the body running smoothly, not to make us dependent on pills. It's a reminder I carry with me as a doctor today: food should be medicine first, and medicine second. And, of course, diet is only half the story. Movement matters too. You don't need to train like an athlete, even a brisk 1-hour walk, a bike ride, or some light resistance work goes a long way. The key isn't one magic exercise, it's consistency. The body responds best to a mix of gentle, regular activity and nourishing food. That's the real formula: eat smart, move often, and let your body do what it was designed to do. Now, before we wrap up, let's talk to those of you already taking statins. Here's the golden rule: don't stop cold turkey. If you've been on statins for more than 2 weeks, quitting suddenly can trigger what's called rebound syndrome. Basically, your cholesterol shoots up quickly, and that sudden swing can cause side effects you don't want. Instead, tapering is key. Think of it like gently easing your foot off the gas pedal instead of slamming the brakes. For example, if you're on 40 milligrams, you might step down to 20 milligrams for 2 weeks, then 10 milligrams, then 5 milligrams, then 2.5 milligrams, until you finally come off completely. Each step takes a couple of weeks, so the whole process can stretch over a couple of months. And, I cannot stress this enough, you should only make these changes with your doctor's guidance. Don't play pharmacist on your own. During that taper, you can bring in the foods we've been talking about: oats, walnuts, fish, garlic, apples. But here's the thing. You don't need to go overboard and stuff yourself with every cholesterol-fighting food under the sun. More is not always better. It's balance that matters. A couple servings of fatty fish a week, a daily apple or some oatmeal, a small handful of walnuts, that's plenty. Because at the end of the day, cholesterol isn't an enemy to be eliminated. It's a partner your body needs, one that sometimes gets miscast as the villain. The real goal isn't driving cholesterol down at all costs, it's keeping your body healthy, resilient, and in balance. So here's the bottom line: whether it's statins or food, more is not always better. Your body needs cholesterol, it's not the enemy. If you push it too low, you run into the very problems we've been talking about: vision issues, hormone imbalances, nerve problems. Remember that poison versus medicine idea? The difference is often just the dose. Even something helpful can turn harmful if you overdo it. That's why balance is everything. Maybe it's oats in the morning if you like them, or a handful of walnuts if you don't. Maybe it's garlic, if your stomach tolerates it. Maybe it's a couple of salmon dinners each week. You don't need to pile on every trick at once. Simple, steady habits add up over time. And here's my ask: share this knowledge. Talk about it with your family, your friends, your neighbors. Too many people live with unnecessary fear of cholesterol, or they've been told their only option is to take statins forever. The truth is more nuanced, and much more hopeful. I'd also love to hear your stories. Were you told to take statins for life? Did anyone explain why your cholesterol might have been rising in the first place? Have you tried natural approaches that worked for you? Drop those in the comments. I read every one, and your story could be the thing that helps someone else. And of course, stick around. I'll be sharing more down-to-earth, science-backed health stories right here, practical, natural ways to help your body thrive. So subscribe, stay curious, and let's keep building Real Health together.